In Pit Lane would like to acknowledge the support of the following sponsors. We thank them for their support of In Pit Lane. Yes, I think we're on air right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of In Pit Lane, coming to you live from the studios of RMIT here in the Media Hub here in Grand Prix City, Melbourne. Coming up this weekend down at Phillip Island will be the final round of the Victorian Superkart Championship, and we'll be finding out all about Superkarts a little bit later on in the program. Also, we'll have all the news in just a moment, and we've got some great live music coming up from our musical guest tonight, Brando Rising, and we've also got a bit of a surprise with the band as well. It's something that will interest a lot of you. We'll fill you in on that a little bit later on in the program. Joining me once again in the co-commentator's chair is, of course, our friend, Craig Gladigo, Doc, and Sandown 500. Did you watch it on the weekend?
Yeah, I caught bits and pieces. Very tumultuous type round, little bits and pieces. There was more going on off the track than what was really going on the track.
We had more fun.
How's your valve clearances?
Yeah, my valve clearances are very, very tight. Very, very tight and getting tighter.
I was going to say, just a few mil out?
No, actually more than a few mil, unfortunately. Got there. But we also had a big crash again down at Sandown Road corner, the other side. That's the second meeting in a row. We had that big Formula Ford crash at the Sandown Historic, where a couple of the tender vehicles and the medical vehicles got clobbered, and we had a tender vehicle clobbered again with the Toyota on the weekend. So
half the Toyotas got almost wiped in the back. But the thing that's probably the positive that has come out of it, though, Brett, I think is great, is that because they've manufactured that corner again, there was a couple of other incidents on the day as well too, and the lead up to those couple of days that has stopped. There would have been a car into fences as well.
Yeah, I think there was at one stage. I think it might have been Anton Di Pasquale went a bit, and it's like, if that had been like it was last year, that would have been pretty ugly.
It would have been
very ugly indeed. But anyway, let's find out what's been happening, not just at the Sandown 500, but right around the world of local and international motorsport. This is the In Pit Lane Motorsport News. Craig Lowndes has joined Alan Moffat as the six-time winner of the Sandown Endurance Race with victory last weekend alongside Jamie Whincup. They took the win after misfortune hit their Triple Eight teammates Shane Van Gisbergen and Garth Tander. The pair looked headed to a race win when Van Gisbergen was forced to pit late in the race due to a missing bolt in the rear right-hand suspension. The stop for repairs elevated the Tickford Racing Mustang of Chad Mostert and James Moffat into second place, with their teammates Lee Holdsworth and Thomas Randall taking third. The Winter Whincup and Lowndes also won the pair the Endurance Championship for this year. It was a mixed weekend for Bathurst winners Scott McLaughlin and Alex Premer. They were forced to start from the rear of the grid due to a Cam Stewart's finding that their pole-winning qualifying engine from Bathurst was illegal. The team recovered to finish in 9th place, but that was enough to ensure McLaughlin of his second straight title with one round remaining when Supercars are the local opening act for a KISS concert in Newcastle. History in Shanghai as the privateer non-hybrid Rebellion team won the Shanghai 4 Hours. The team of Bruno Senna, Gustavo Menez and Norman Nato finished more than 1 minute ahead of the Toyota of World Championship leaders Sebastian Buemi, Kazuki Nakajima and Brendan Hartley. The British-based Jota team won its first race since 2015 as the Orica 07 of Antonio Felix da Costa, Roberto Gonzalez and Anthony Davison took out LMP2. The number 51 AF Corsa Ferrari crossed the line first in GTE Pro, but the car was disqualified following post-race technical checks found a ride height infringement. This handed the win to the Porsche 911 of Kevin Estra and Michael Christensen. In GTE AM, it was another dream race weekend for the British team TF Sport, as Johnny Adam, Charlie Eastwood and Sully Olick stormed to their second consecutive GTE AM race victory in their Aston Martin Vantage. Gold Star champion James Winslow will return to battle his old rival and fellow Gold Star winner Tim Macro this weekend as the new S5000 class makes its second appearance, this time at the Adelaide circuit at the Bend. The British driver will drive for Team BRM in the car that Alex Davison drove at the inaugural Sandown race back in September. Joining Winslow for Team BRM will be supercar driver Anton Di Pasquale, who'll take on fellow supercar star and round one winner James Golding. And in late breaking news, they'll be joined by Thomas Randall, who'll be making his S5000 debut as well. Randall is fresh off of his third place at last weekend's Sandown 500, is a former Toyota Racing Series champion from New Zealand, and should be a serious contender for the race despite his inexperience with the cars. Also on the card will be the final round of this year's TCR series. Hyundai driver Will Brown has already wrapped up this year's inaugural season. And then there were four. Denny Hamlin will join Joe Gibbs Racing teammates Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. in the Final Four shootout for the 2019 NASCAR Championship after winning last weekend at Phoenix. The Toyota trio will be joined by Ford driver Kevin Harvick in the final battle at Homestead, Miami this weekend. Kyle Busch led the race early with a clean run to lap 68 when a caution was thrown for Ricky Stenhouse in an incident at turn 4. Hamlin took the lead at the restart, going on to win stage 1. Joey Logano won stage 2, then Chase Elliott and John Hunter Nemechek brought out the caution flags, but up front Hamlin was dominant, winning the final restart and going on to take the checkered flag and the final playoff spot. And a debut race win to the new Australian-built Brabham BT60 of Mike Raymond.
This weekend's Rally Australia, the final round of the World Rally Championship, has been cancelled due to the horrifying fires in New South Wales and Queensland. CAM's president and Rally Australia chairman Andrew Papadopoulos said the cancellation was the only course available considering the safety of the more than 1,000 people involved as officials, competitors and in support roles for the event, which was due to start Thursday. The FIA had been under pressure to cancel the rally earlier after criticism from many teams and sponsors who believed that running the event was not appropriate in light of the seriousness of the fires and the loss of life.
And the Australian Racing Group has officially launched the new fifth event at Mount Panorama at Bathurst. The event, which will be known as the Bathurst International, which sounds like a hotel, will feature an international TCR Enduro over 500 kilometres, which is expected to attract teams from all over the world. The support card will feature S5000 single-seaters, subject to confirmation from the FIA, of course, with several international drivers expected to be invited to compete. Touring Car Masters will also have a spot on the support bill, but with the category set to contest a non-championship event. They're going to be joined by the TA2 muscle cars and international LMP3 prototypes. Although the weekend of December 4th and 6th had previously been announced as the preferred date, a clash with the final round of Supercars in Newcastle looks likely to see that date changed. You're watching In Pit Lane. When we come back, we're going to be talking all about Superkarts. It's the final round of the Victorian Championship this weekend, this Saturday at Phillip Island. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay, so for all of you watching live on YouTube and Facebook and where, well, they're the only two places, but hopefully you're watching us on YouTube. Remember, if you like watching us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and give us a like. Also, click the bell notification. That way you know that whenever we've got something new and exciting coming up, that you'll be able to find out when that's happening. We'll just point out a bit of interesting news. We didn't have time in the main news, but we'll let you know that Mercedes boss Toto Wolff is going to miss his first Formula One race since about 2013.
What for?
Well, he's announced that he's not going to attend this week's Brazilian Grand Prix. He's been present for the past 6 consecutive Formula One titles, but he's chosen not to head to the Interlagos event. It's going to, as I said, the first race since 2013 that he's not attended. But he says, with the championship secured, it gives me more time in Europe to focus on other open topics. The Brazilian race is the least favourite of many in the Grand Prix paddock, mostly due to the fact of its high crime rate, with several high-profile members of the Formula One community, particularly media members, being robbed during past events. It is a great track. Everyone loves the track, but I mean, it is, that we've had kidnappings, carjackings, death threats, all sorts of things, and I think Toto just looked at it and went, Nah, we've wrapped up. I
was
don't
going
need
to say,
yeah.
he doesn't want his pocket picked one more time?
No, that's it. Not even for old time's sake.
Oh, I can't blame him, but geez, you think with Formula One, with all the security they've got, they could, anyway, yeah.
He wants his pocket pick, he can stay at home with his Spice Girl wife.
I was going to say, Toto Wolff?
Yeah.
I thought that was Adrian Newey that's
Oh, it's Adrian Newey,
Adrian Newey from
yeah,
Jerry Halliwell
yeah,
as well,
Jerry,
though, too.
Jerry,
Yeah, that's all right.
yeah.
We're not taping this exactly without mine. But, yeah.
Yes, who's the, oh, no, it's Susie, isn't it?
Jerry
yeah.
Halliwell and not Adrian. Who's Christian Horner.
Christian Horner.
So I got it wrong as well, though, too.
We
Apologies to everyone in the F1 paddock we didn't mention then, but we finally got it right.
Speaking of the F1 paddock, and we mentioned during the news the name Brabham. It was David Brabham, the Brabham BT62, winning that race in Britcoe on the weekend at Brands Hatch. And some of you follow us on Facebook, you might have seen, posted up a link to an event that's happening next Wednesday, the 20th of November, at the Fountain Gate Shopping Centre, the Village Cinemas there. And it's a screening of the film Brabham. It's a documentary, big screen documentary. Now, thankfully, they needed a minimum number, and they have now reached that minimum number, but there are still tickets available. It's at FanForce. Go onto the In Pit Lane site and have a look around. You'll see the link to the Brabham. The Brabham link. Go and buy yourself a ticket. I'll certainly be there.
I thought it was sold out. So it's not sold out.
No, we still have.
My apologies. Good, because I hadn't grabbed the ticket. I was lazy with my work-life balance the last few days. So you can, but limited tickets left.
Limited ticket. Last time I heard, I think there was about 21 tickets left. It took a long time to get up, but we pushed it over the edge, and so we'll be there. Certainly, I'll be there next Wednesday night, November the 20th, at the Fountain Gate Village Cinema for the documentary Brabham, and it'll be it'll be very interesting to see. Heard a lot of mixed things about it.
It's your shout for frothies then.
Yeah, look,
okay.
I'm led to believe there might be a licensed establishment somewhere around the
Sounds
the
like we'll definitely have a frothy together as usual.
Might pop in. So if you happen to get there early, I think it's about 7:30 or something it starts, and they do point out it starts sharp at 7:30. So make sure you're there. So don't get caught too long.
It is
preparing.
a school night, so you probably want to keep it to
so kids, if you're coming along, don't spend too long in the pub, all right? Just make sure you get out there and get into the cinema in time. Okay, so I think that we got anybody watching, anybody commenting, anybody annoying us?
Just a couple of thumbs up. We've got people loving the show as usual, but no, just all kudos at the moment, all congratulating us on a great
show. Which once again goes to show that the average Australian has absolutely no taste.
Oh, well, yes. So, look, lots of congratulations, but unfortunately, no, they're all just a bit quiet on. There's no upheaval. There's nothing we're doing wrong. So yeah, look, as Brett said earlier before. If you've got a suggestion, there might be an event coming up, or we haven't covered it before, or give us a yell.
Strange noises coming through all of a sudden.
Maybe they're drilling, the industrial drilling across the road. Yes. There you go.
That would be it. Yes, they are drilling the metro tunnel right beneath this. What a great place to build a television studio. They are actually drilling the tunnel right between us now, and despite all of the millions and millions of dollars of soundproofing in this place, I don't know if you can hear it at home, but trust me, we can hear it.
I think there's some snakes coming up in the corner.
Right
no, they're only cords. Sorry, snakes coming up. Been watching too much of Indiana Jones.
Anyway, we better get back to Channel 31 now, and so Pete, when you're ready, give us a countdown, and we'll get the show back on the road again. Wow, that is loud.
And while you're watching it.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Well, coming up this weekend on Saturday at Phillip Island is the final round of the Victorian Superkart Championship. They're also running as part of the Super Sprint, the Pyack Super Sprint down there as well. Superkarts, we've had, you might have remembered sort of last year and the year before, we've had Nick Shembry in with Superkarts. But tonight we're going to find out sort of, how the season's gone and what we can expect to see this weekend, this Saturday down at Phillip Island. And Shane Bailey from the Victorian Superkart Club is with us now. And Shane, welcome to In Pit Lane. First of all, tell us what will we be seeing this weekend at the at Phillip Island?
Well, thank you for having me. And this weekend down in Phillip Island, you're going to see some extremely close racing with 5 different categories of superkarts. There's a few categories there that are actually battling for championships over the last 8 rounds that we've had. So this is the final round, and we're really looking forward to bringing out the sunshine, not too much wind, and we're going to have also the juniors. And we've got a junior round going on there. They've been through the whole season. We've had 3 rounds with the juniors, and they're battling. It's been very close with the juniors.
Hotly contested, Shane?
Very much so. There's about 10 juniors involved.
Right. You've got 5 categories, and that's in the junior
Yeah,
comp?
so we've got juniors, Rotax heavy and light, depending on your weight, of course.
Yep.
You've got your stock Honda class, your 125 open, 250 national and 250 international.
That's a fair bill.
There's a fair few there.
So let's talk about the different categories. The fastest karts are the 250 International.
Yes, correct.
And what sort of lap times are they doing? They're seriously quick, aren't they?
They are seriously quick. Lap times on those there, you're getting down to a minute 36.
That's cracking for Phillip Island.
So we're talking MotoGP sort of times. Wow. They are extremely quick. I mean, you can be carrying up to 240, 260 kilometres at the end of the straight, turn 1. And they can be pulling up to 2.5 to 3 Gs on the corners. So the corner speed with the 250s and all cars.
That is the thing. If you go along there, we've got some footage up now about with riding in one of the karts around Phillip Island. This is one of the non-gearbox cars. So this is one of the really quick ones. This is quick enough, but we've got. With the 250 Internationals, as you say, they're very, very quick. And, I remember when we used to cover them years ago, between sort of Doon Corner and the exit from Siberia, they were the quickest thing out there. They were faster than, I think Formula 3 got pretty close, but everything else, Superkarts were faster than anything else.
Oh, yeah, they are very quick.
Is it a controlled tyre, Shane, as well, too, across all categories?
No, it's all open. You've got with the Rotax, what you're seeing on screen at present. They generally use a maxi tyre.
Right.
Then you go to stock Honda. We've got 3 different choices between your Dunlop or Bridgestone, your MG Yellows, your Hoosier, and that's open to that on that side.
Interpretation from the driver itself as well, though, too. Not just Phillip Island, you also race at other tracks around Victoria, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We do Broadford, Winton. We also, in the state, there's Eastern Creek and Wakefield, on all those sides of it. So
I suppose Sandown's a touch bumpy.
Well, Sandown, we can't get in there because it's all been signed up and everyone's taken the spots.
One thing I want to ask you, though, is that a lot of people from across the ditch come over here and race in lots of other categories. Do you correspond with the New Zealand people and maybe look at an Anzac round at some stage, Australia and New Zealand?
Yeah, well, that's a great suggestion. But there's a few going over to New Zealand. We are in November now, aren't we? Yeah. This month over there.
That's great.
So a few are taking their karts over there, and they've also organised that you can pay to actually have a seat, and they've got the kart and everything ready for you in the Rotax class.
And it's all pre-prepared for you?
Exactly.
Because I was looking just recently, you can get a kart here at a reasonable price, guys, for like $2,500, $3,500 is a good starting point, isn't it?
Well, that would,
the basics.
Your basics. I mean, generally you would start at about $7,500 for a second hand, and then you'd budget probably $5 to $6 grand for the whole year to go motorsport racing.
Your background is interesting because you originally came from 2 wheels. You mentioned stock Honda, which is the class that you're running in, but you've actually come from 2-wheel motorsport. Tell us about that.
Well, 2 wheels. I rode for the Hartwell Motorcycle Club and road raced around Broadford, Phillip Island, and Winton. I did a number of years there and enjoyed it thoroughly. And basically, it came to a crunch when I actually fell off my bike and broke my neck. And while I was in hospital,
that'll get your attention.
Yeah, it does. So and it did hurt. But while I was in hospital, I did a little bit of eBaying and bought myself my supercar.
While you were in hospital.
While I was in hospital.
What did the family think of that?
Well, it was my decision, they said.
I guess I've heard that one before too.
Yes, so in other words, it wasn't appreciated at the time. But motorsport's in my blood. I've been brought up with motorsport. Dad being historics, doing hill climbs, rallies, having Austin Healey's. I was always brought up in the workshop working on cars.
Well, Brett's made a good point there. You've gone from 2 to 4. Do you think there is any more safety in 4 wheels compared to 2? in your opinion, now having experienced both
In my opinion,
at the
yes.
level?
Yes. Well, 100%. The safety with four wheels is so much better. I mean, you lower to the ground, so you're not going to come off and really hurt yourself.
You're going to high side quite as easily. Although
No.
you can. I have seen it.
Oh, of course you can.
Barrel
but,
roll.
Yeah. I mean, you can hurt yourself rolling your motorbike off the trail and it falls on you and you break your ankle. With a kart, usually...
I ended up in hospital reading the age once, so there you go.
Yeah. It's not fun having broken limbs.
You've got your presentation night coming up later this month as well, though, too.
Yeah,
Tell us
we
a bit
have.
about that.
Yeah. Well, the presentation night, we're hopefully we'll get 40 to 50 people there down here in Carlton. We have all presentations, from the
Trophies for all categories.
all categories there. Best presentation, appreciation awards to all our sponsors.
So just quickly, we're running right out of time, but if people are watching on Channel 31 and they want to find out more, if they want to head down to Phillip Island, now technically it's not really open to the public, but if people come down on the weekend and say they're with the Victorian Superkart Club, I reckon that they might get in, don't you?
Listen, yes, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Also with PIARC running it, PIARC are very they're good at that as well. But, we can't have hundreds of thousands of people. But generally, the general public, they're more than welcome. Come along.
Just mention your name, Shane. Shane invited me along, and behave yourselves, and you might be able to get some good karting experience.
Yes.
Well, as I said, it's really great. If you haven't seen sort of super karting before, it really is very exciting. As I said, the place to go is, head up to the top of Lukey Heights and watch them come over there. It's pretty bloody scary. Also down to watch them go through the complex from Doohan Corner. They take it absolutely flat chat. There is no sort of holding back at all. So, Shane, thanks for joining us from In Pit Lane, and good luck with the Victorian Superkart Club for, this weekend and also for 2020.
Thank you kindly.
And we're going to take a break now on In Pit Lane. When we return, we're going to have some live music from our friends at Brando Rising. We're also going to introduce you to something a bit special from their drummer, Stephen. We'll give you a tip on that a bit later on. This is In Pit Lane on Channel 31. We'll be right back. Okay, so that sound we had was not drilling. It was, in fact, the loop there.
I know it was. I just had to make it up as I went along. Exactly.
Can we have the band in position, please?
I improvised. I knew what it was. I improvised, yeah, exactly. Got your president of your fan club, AJ. Does that ring any bells? Andrea.
I'm going to stand up for a
Andrea
moment.
says, looking good, shiny babes with lots of love hearts. So I don't know.
We don't get that, do we?
No, we don't even get a broken heart, let alone lots of love hearts. So
what
yeah.
What you've got to do is you've got to start racing superkarts.
Oh, there you go. Well,
Exactly. That's right.
Have you ever seen a Formula 1 driver with an ugly wife?
No comment. I'm just talking about the F1 paddock before I mentioned just about Jerry Halliwell and Christian Horner. So yes, I must admit I didn't have the Spice Girls up on the wall in my bedroom when I was a kid. I more had rock bands and cars, predominantly cars. But yes,
it's going to be.
Jerry would have been one of the ones up there if I did
the.
have the Spice Girls. Yes.
I just got to communicate something to our director through Peter. I'm going to be talking to Stephen behind the drum set, but I'll be talking from here. Yeah, so Stephen will be on drum. So we'll need a camera. One of the cameras will need to be on Stephen before they do the last song. Okay. So are you guys? If you guys are ready, there you look ready. Okay. So
No jacket this time.
With
the jacket on.
That's all right. Yeah, sorry. Just making sure it's covered before we even start.
There we've had a wardrobe malfunction.
Well, you beat me to it. Damn it.
There we go.
We had a Jennifer Hawkins. Damn. Jennifer Hawkins dropped her skirt.
We've got a couple of t-shirts going on.
There you go. Okay, our
fitment's done.
Our band tonight is Brando Rising. They were supposed to come in. We remember they were coming in a few weeks ago, and there you can see coming up songs from their forthcoming EP, Sonara, A Crack in the World. That's coming up available in the new year on both CD and vinyl, and no doubt available on all sorts of downloading and streaming services as well. But right now, if you want to hear what they sound like, you're about to hear that right now, because they're going to play a special bonus track for us. For all of you watching live, this is Brando Rising, and F is for Fake. Brando Rising.
fake, I really ought to take it to be put down. I've no time for the likes of your kind, not in this town. Hey, what's that? I smell a dirty rat, I better go now. Hey, what's that? I smell a dirty rat, better I'm not around. It was for fake, talking to you. You ain't got nothing to do. It was for fake, talking to you. You ain't got nothing to do with me. Yeah, you wanna control, but it'll take its toll, and it'll be on you now. It was always about you, always about you. When you get old, you'll drown. Hey, watch out, oh, there's a knob in my bag, I better go now. Hey, watch out, oh, there's a knob in my bag, better you're not around. Love is for fake, talking to you. You ain't got nothing to do. Love is for fake, talking to you. You ain't got nothing to do with me. So fake, I really ought to take it to be put down. I've no time for the likes of your kind. No, not in this town. Hey, watch out, oh, there's an arm in my back, I better go now. Hey, watch out, oh, there's an arm in my back, I better up on the ground. Love is for fake, talking to you. You ain't got nothing to do. Love is for fake, talking to you. You ain't got nothing to do. It was for fake, talking to you. You ain't got nothing to do. Well, it was for fake, I'm talking to you. You ain't got nothing to do with me.
That was Brando Rising, and we'll have more of them a little bit later. Oh, that took me back. There was Thursday nights at the Prince of Wales back in the day. Oh, back in the Freddie Negro and the Brady Bunch Lawnmower Massacre and all that. Oh, God. Memories. It shows how old I am, doesn't it? We've just had word from the people building the metro tunnel downstairs. They've asked us if we would turn the noise down. Now, we'll have more from Brando Rising. They're going to take us out a little bit later on. As I said, we've got to, one member of Brando Rising has a secret. Which one might it be? We'll find out in just a moment. Doc is rejoining us because Doc jumped out and was basically moshing around the...
Oh, head banging. You know, you could do with injury there. A guy apparently had an injury during the week because it's a disease apparently because he did a vein in his neck or something like that. But yeah, I'm moshing around and just wanted to get some action shots. You know how it is. When you get a quality band like this, like we have every week, but these guys like jumping about.
Oh, that was. I love that. Okay, we better get back to Channel 31. We've got to tell you what's happening around this weekend, coming up this weekend, with our friends from the Motoring Diary, who are going to tell you what's happening this week in local motorsport. This is the Motoring Diary.
What's on in motorsport, brought to you by the Motoring Diary, your must-have guide for all motoring enthusiasts. Yes, of course, there is the final round of the Victorian Supercar Championships down at Phillip Island. They'll be a part of the Pyark Super Sprint. If you've ever wanted to get involved in motorsport, this is a great place to start. Contact the Phillip Island Auto Racing Club for details. Tell them In Pit Lane sent you. Winton Raceway plays host this weekend to the final round of the Australian Motor Racing Series. There's a packed card including GT1, Thunder Sports, miniature race cars, American stock cars and Aussie V8 utes, plus more. The meeting will also see the on-track debut of the new mini muscle car we previewed 2 weeks ago here on In Pit Lane. This is grassroots racing the way it should be run, and if you haven't been before, you really should give it a try. Or if you're down Geelong way, then the Geelong Motorsport Club and Western District Car Club are combining to run an autocross at the Geelong Motorsport Complex in Avalon. Autocross is a great form of affordable motorsport, so head on down and find out how you can join in the fun. And remember that if you would like to follow In Pit Lane on social media, and you should, then subscribe to our YouTube channel and remember to enable all notifications for the latest live streams, news and special features. You can follow us on Facebook and join the conversation about all matters local motorsport. We're on Twitter at In Pit Lane. We're even on Instagram, although we're still not entirely sure why. And that's what's happening this weekend in local motorsport.
Not only are we not sure why we're on Instagram, apparently we don't even have the right logo up. So there you go, that shows you how much we know. Now, coming up a little bit to play us out will be the band Brando Rising. We just had, if you've been watching on our YouTube feed, our live YouTube feed, you saw a bonus track from them just a moment ago. But we found out just by happen chance, when we were getting ready for the show, that the Stephen, the drummer for the band, has an interesting sort of side gig, which is called Catalyst Motorsport Days, and this is fascinating. I think a lot of people will be interested in this. Stephen, tell us what you do.
Well, Catalyst Motorsport Days, we support people with disabilities to go to motorsport events all around Melbourne, Broadford, Winton, Phillip Island. It's one-to-one support. We keep it to one-to-one so that when we go to the track and meet the teams and drivers and riders and other spectators, we can really connect with them. It's really good, and we try to give everyone the opportunity. Okay,
I think we might be having. Are we having a sound? We're having a sound problem. We might
stand up.
Yeah, we might come in again. Can we just see if we can get that solved so we can do that? We'll just run through that again. If you just stay.
Stand up or just walk towards the desk a bit, Steve. Yeah.
My mic's in my jacket.
Oh, no wonder. Yeah, okay. That would probably help the mic.
That catches us out every single time.
For media students, for those watching at home, Rule 101 for Mikey, don't put the microphone in your jacket if you're not wearing it.
Leave it in your locker instead.
Okay, so we'll get that, and we'll take it from the. I'll take it from the. We've just come out of the diary. Okay. Yep. Okay. So give us a countdown if you will, Peter. Make it easy for me to edit.
Don't hit the screen.
Don't hit the screen.
Is it working?
4, 3.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Now, coming up to take us out a little bit later on the program will be our band tonight, Brando Rising. But we found out just before the show, we found out that the drummer Stephen has a bit of a secret, a bit of a side project, which is I think a lot of people will be really interested because it is a motor racing related project, and it's called the Catalyst Motorsport Days. And Stephen, tell us what Catalyst Motorsport Days are and what do you do?
We provide one-to-one support to people with disabilities to attend motor racing events all around Melbourne, all kinds of events, Broadford, Winton, Phillip Island. And we keep it to one-to-one so that when we go to the track, we can really connect with everyone there. And our goal is to try and get everyone to experience what motorsport has to offer. The passion, the excitement, the sound, and the sense of community that motorsport events can offer people.
So how did this all start? I mean, when did you get involved in this?
I've always had a passion for motorsports. And
How long have you done it for, Steve?
I've been doing this, Catalyst has been going for maybe 2 years, but prior to that I just went with people with disabilities, clients, because we both like motorsports. Yeah. And it always works. As long as you've got the people who have a genuine passion You put them together, it works every
Must see a
time.
sparkle in the eye at the end of the
Just-
day. These people
yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing, they must be incredible and wonderful. Good on you for doing it.
Now you do a lot of different levels. You do the Victorian State Series. You do sort of bikes and cars as well. Historic meetings. So
Yeah.
if any of our viewers are out there and they're interested in this, because I know there's a lot of people. It's it can sometimes be a real hassle. Like getting out there. I know even if you're feeling well, it's not the easiest to get around sometimes. If people want to find out more about it, where do they go? How do they get in contact with you?
Go online. It's Catalyst Disability Services. There's .com. It's a website, or there's Facebook, Catalyst Disability Services, or there's Catalyst Motorsport Days on Facebook.
Well, it's a great service. We were just chatting before the show with Pete and I, and you just sort of mentioned, oh, by the way, and I thought it's a great service. A lot of our people would be interested in it. So
And there's no age limit, so you could be 5 years old, you could be 50 years old, can't you, Steve? Yep. So no age limit. That's fantastic, and do it for the whole community.
Really, that's a really good thing. Well, we might. You're looking a bit lonely up there. We might get the rest of the band to come in now and get ready to take you out. So yeah, if you're out there and you want to find out more, if you missed that, drop us a line on In Pit Lane at the Facebook page, and we'll let you know all about that coming up from Catalyst Motorsport Days. They might be able to take you down to Phillip Island to see some superkarts. In fact, who knows? It's up to you.
Ask for Steve.
Ask for Steve. Now, as we coming up next week on the program, should point out that one thing you should keep an eye out, that we're hoping to have some live streaming on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel. Also this weekend, keep an eye out on our webpage, theinpitlane.com, for details of live streaming of the Macau Grand Prix. That's coming up this weekend as well. We're still working on that one, but I think we'll get that up.
Do they pick your pockets there as well too?
We'll find out. Okay, so to take us out tonight, as we say, our band is Brando Rising. They've got an album coming out in the new year. It's called Sonara, A Crack in the World, and it's on CD and vinyl, and it'll be available in 2020. But right now, they're going to be taking us out from Channel 31 and In Pit Lane, and here is Brando Rising, and this is Show Me. Good night.
I got a feeling like a deja vu. I picture my sense of view. What's in a dream I was in a vision. The busy clouds on my decisions. Come on, see it all, heard it all. Got the t-shirt too, show me something new. Well, it's the same old song and it's on a replay. Stuck in time and I need a delay. I hit the brakes before the crash. Out of the ash I'm gonna make a splash. Alright, seen it all, heard it all. Got my t-shirt too, show me something new. Feeling like a deja vu. Glitching my sense of view, yeah. I'll hit the brakes before that crash. Rising from the ash, I'm gonna make a splash. Come on, seen it all, heard it all. Got the t-shirt too, show me something new. shut down now.